Welcome again. It's Dr. Lawrence Gunderson. Glad to be with you today. I want to give you a little background on your next two assignments for Unit 3 and 4. Unit 3 and 4 deal with endnotes and bibliography. And before you begin this unit to respond, once you log on to the system and prepare yourself to do the assignment, it is time, so you're going to need to do a couple of things. You're going to need to bring in three publications. Now, my recommendation is just pick any three magazines, newspapers, books, journals, whatever, to use. What I'm using, just as an example here, is Ernest Hemingway, Tennessee Women, and Situating Environmental History. Now, you can use magazines, newspapers, government documents. There's a whole host of different publications that you can use. However, when you're documenting publications, the first and foremost publication on how to do that is Kate Turabian's Manual for Writers. Kate Turabian wrote this many years ago. This is the 5th or 6th edition we're in now. And basically what it does is it shows you how to do a bibliographical entry and how to do an endnote entry, because they are two separate and distinct things. Now, normally when you do an MLA style paper in an English course, you have a works cited page. Well, basically your bibliographical page is the same thing as a works cited page. It's simply a list of all of the publications that you have used. Now, please understand that Kate Turabian's will tell you, it'll show you in there how to do various types of bibliographical entries: magazines, newspapers, encyclopedias, books with 3 authors, book with 1 author, book in an edited book with 15 authors. So this is the kind of publication that you'll need to look at. Now, you can also go online to Duke University's library. They have a link there that shows you different styles, even how to document online sources. But I want you to use 3 printed sources for this assignment. The other place that you can look is you can look at the Jackson State Library's website, and you will also find a link on how to do endnotes and citations, etc. There's also University of Chicago. University of Chicago Library Online has another link that'll show you how to do proper endnote and bibliographical entries. Now, real quick on the bibliographical entries, they go in alphabetical order: last name first, last name, comma, first name, period, title of publication, blah, blah, blah. No page number at the end, unless it is an encyclopedia article. Then you would probably put that in there. Now, the endnote page is a little bit different. The endnote page, when you respond, I want them numbered. First endnote, second, put 1, period, and write out the endnote. Hit the return. 2, write out the endnote. Now, when you do your endnotes when you do your endnote page, what you need to do is, right after you put in the number, and use no consecutive numbers. You don't use the same number again. I want you to do approximately 10. And using those 3 sources, I want you to show me the different types of endnote entries. What is a full version? What is a condensed version? How to use IBID. To that end, let's say your first endnote entry, you're going to give a complete endnote entry. So you put 1, period, and then begin the endnote entry. Now, an endnote's a little bit different than a bibliographical entry in that it's first name first, then last name, comma, title of publication, parenthesis, opening parenthesis, place of publication, colon, publisher, comma, date of publication, closing parenthesis, comma, page number, and period. That page number tells me where you got the information out of the bibliography, which book, and where it's referenced in the paper. You know, endnote number 1, endnote number 2, reference, which go at the end of the paper. Anyway, these endnotes, so you give 1 complete endnote entry. The second time you use that same endnote entry, or the same source, you use the condensed version, which is simply the author's last name, comma, page number, period. Now, let's say your second endnote comes from a different source. What you would do is you would put in a complete endnote entry for that third entry, and then let's say the fourth entry came from that same source. Then the fourth entry would be the condensed version. However, when it follows immediately thereafter that you are using the same source, you use what is called ibid. Ibid is Greek for it follows. And really what it is, let's say your first endnote entry is George's Doobie, The Flower of Chivalry, complete endnote entry, blah, 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 page 87. Endnote number 2 is also from the George Doobie book. Or no, let's say the second endnote entry comes from Sidney Painter's book, Chivalry. Sidney Painter, Chivalry, blah, 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 complete endnote entry. Then the third endnote entry comes from, let's say, the George's Doobie book on The Flower of Chivalry. At that point, you would put the author's last name, Doobie, comma, page number, period. Let's say the fourth endnote comes from the Painter source, Sidney Painter, Chivalry. You would use the condensed version, Painter, comma, page number, period. If the next source, the fifth source, comes from that same source, the Painter book, you wouldn't use the condensed version again. You would use ibid for it follows, and comma, page number, period. That's basically how you use endnotes, and what I want you to do is mix them up, give me about 10 endnotes, and get them right. If you get them right, you get the points for this assignment. Think of endnotes as you're writing your paper and you put in a sentence in your first or second paragraph or in your introduction paragraph. Historians have said this about the era of chivalry, that it was first and foremost a stately endeavor, but at the same time it was based on a militaristic order. Okay, period, endnote. That endnote at the end of the paper tells me where you got the information in the paper, how you paraphrase it. If you directly quoted it, you have to put quote marks on it. So this, in the essence, is what endnotes do. They are very precise. They tell the reader where that information came from to make sure it's accurate, because history has to be accurate. Anyway, I wish you good luck on this assignment. Remember that the first one, I think, is what are endnotes? Okay, so you're going to need to do 10 endnote entries using 3 different publications. I suggest you take a look at Kay Trabian's Manual for Writers. There's a copy on every campus at Jackson State. Good luck with the assignment. I'll be in touch.